Hello, hello, hello. I opened up my presentation and it was misaligned, and I was really, 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 really upset. So I had to do some, I thought it was going to take me a little longer. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I am here. I'm just trying to grab something real quick, but I'm here. So I said we were going to walk back. Good evening, Stacy. How are you? So we're going to get into this, but I'm going to play you this little snippet of when we first found out that Laci was missing. And I was watching Scott earlier, and I was like, wait a minute. He doesn't look like he's really, really, really concerned. And every time I looked at him, I was like, okay, something is not right here. So let's let me get this for you. Hold on, let me post that. And I'm going to put fair use. So this is the press conference where the manhunt, so should we say manhunt, began for Laci. And let me just share this screen with you so we can just go back. And this is the Rocha family press conference, okay?
Just want to make it quick. They'll go ahead and say something really quickly, and the main reason that they want to do it now is they've been up pretty much for the last several days, and rather than doing separate interviews back at the Red Lion where the volunteer center is, they decided that they would rather just make a statement to everybody now, if you could respect that, because they've been up since pretty much 2:30 this morning.
We'd like to thank all of you for being here and helping us trying to find our daughter.
Okay, who's missing?
And we'd just like to send a message out there that whoever has her, please, please, please
Who's
let her go.
missing?
Bring her back.
We
to
love her
us.
so much. We want her back. Please, let us have her back.
Yes.
Who's missing?
We want her and our grandson home safely and immediately. So please bring her back to us.
If you guys have questions, go ahead.
Where's Scott? Is Scott there? I see the mother, the sister,
Laci is
the brother,
a loving,
the
happy,
stepdad.
generous,
everybody else
vivacious
there.
person. She just, Laci loves life. She loves people. She loves entertaining. She's happy. She and Scott are just so much in love. They're just, I think everybody envies their relationship. They're just perfect together. They have a wonderful life. They're looking forward to having their baby. They've waited a long time. They've tried for a long time to have a baby, and she finally became pregnant, and this is just the center of her world, is to have her baby and be with her husband.
You guys keep up hope. What's driving
We have to keep up hope.
Okay,
We have to.
so they have to keep up hope.
It's out of
Let
our
me
hands.
just
A lot of
this
prayers,
is
a lot of
So let me just pause this. So they have to keep up hope. So I did this timeline, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see my timeline. Oh, let me see. Can I make this bigger? Hold on. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can. It's 150%. Okay. Can you see that? Okay. So I did the timeline. I was going through and I was reading all of these different articles. And trust me, my timeline goes all the way over. Okay. So here's the timeline. Laci was reported missing on December 24th, 2002. Between late December and early March of 2000. Oh my God, I say 2022. December 2002 to early March 2000. And I got to fix that. I hate mistakes. Hold on. Look, I have to fix this. So, okay. So between late December 2002 and early March of 2003, Scott's affair was revealed, the affair he was having with Amber Fry. On April 14th, 2003, decomposed body washed up on the shore, no head or limbs, and the fetus was found a day later. On April 18th, DNA matched Laci and, of course, Connor. Hi, Gone John. This is how fast this moved. April 21st. Now, she was found. She was reported missing December 24th. Body washed up 4/14. DNA matched 4/18. Oh, I got to put the trigger warning up. Damn it. You always, thank you. Trigger warning. Okay. 4/21. Scott was arraigned. First-degree murder for Laci and second-degree murder for Connor. And I hate mistakes. I have two eyes here. See, I told you I had to realign it, and I was okay. So he was arraigned on the 21st. That's 4 months. That's 4 months. 4 months almost to the day. She was reported 12/24. He was arraigned on 4/21. She was found on 4/18. Now she's found 4/18. They're arraigning him on 4/21. And then on 12/19 of 2003, Sharon and Dennis filed a $5 million wrongful death suit against Scott Peterson. They filed that lawsuit on the 19th. Criminal trial hadn't even started yet. They filed a wrongful death suit. Normally, they'll tell you, wait till the criminal trial is over with, like they did with the O.J. Simpson trial. They said, wait till the criminal trial is over with. Then you go for your civil suit. They didn't wait. They wanted everyone to know that they believe that Scott killed their daughter. Okay. Then we have the phase where the criminal trial starts. Okay. So the criminal trial was moved to San Mateo County, 1/20/2004. Oh, I'm getting into this. So I'm looking at the timeline. That's what I was looking at. On 12/19, wrongful death suit was filed. April, he was arraigned. Trial is moved to San Mateo County. On February 2nd of 2004, Judge Alfred DeLuca, he bars cameras from the courtroom for the entire trial. Jury selection began March 4th, 2004. The jury is seated on 5/27, 2004. You had 6 men, 6 women, and then you had 6 alternates. His trial began June 1st. It began June 1st. These people were not playing. They have him left to right. They're going forward with this trial. Now, there was a warning issued by the judge on June 21st. Juror number 5, his name was Justin Franco, whatever his name was. He was seen talking to Brett Roca at a security checkpoint, which was Laci's brother. So the judge issued a warning on the 21st. Now, this happened on the 18th. And on June 23rd, the juror was dismissed. So now we have Amber Fry is coming up. August 10th, Amber Fry takes the stand. She basically testified that Scott told her he was a widower. He lied about where he lived and where he traveled. The jurors heard the recordings of Peterson and Fry's conversations made after the police discovered the truth. So my whole thing was she started recording him once she found out from the news that Scott was married and his wife was missing. I never understood if she had been recording him before then, because some of the stuff that they played in the courtroom, they were just dating at that time. And I don't know if she was just recording him just to record him or not. So I don't know if the woman was crazy or not. But on November 3rd, which is my brother's birthday, the jurors started deliberating. This trial didn't take too long, 5 months. 5 months. I put it here. 5 months is when the jurors started deliberating. Okay. The verdict came in on 11/12. Now, this is the death penalty case. They took 9 days. They found him guilty on both charges. They recommend the death sentence on 12/13. The judge followed suit with what the jury recommended, and he sentenced Scott to death on March 16th. This trial didn't take, I was looking at the Daybell cases. I was looking at a couple of other cases. This is called swift justice, but was it really justice is the question. Is Scott Peterson innocent? Is he innocent? Tina, you cheer. So now we have the wrongful death suit. And again, I'm trying to rush to get stuff done. And I'm telling y'all, this is me. I don't like mistakes. But I had misalignments and I had to realign boxes and everything. So the wrongful death suit that Sharon and Dennis Rocha filed, they dismissed it. April 30th of 2009, it was dismissed. They dismissed it. Don't know why it was dismissed, but they dismissed it. Hi, proud Nana, how are you? So then we have the judge, another judge ruled that the $250,000 life insurance policy that Laci had on her life would go to her mother. And this was on October 21st of 2005. This is what the judge rules. Scott, you're not getting any money. They dismissed the wrongful death suit in 2009. Is it because they got the life insurance policy? It was only $250,000. You were going at Scott for $5 million. Why did you dismiss it? Did you think that the death penalty was enough, that he wasn't going to keep appealing and trying to get that conviction overturned? It was strange. I don't know why I have looked, Jennifer. I have no idea why it was dismissed. You filed it before he went to court. And then you dismissed it after he was convicted. Why? But you weren't going for $250,000. You were going for $5 million. Now we know Scott don't have $5 million, but still, that's what they were going for. They were going for $5 million. So he filed an appeal on July 15th. And what year was that again? That was 2012, was the first appeal filed to overturn his conviction. He filed a second appeal in November on the 24th of 2015 to have his conviction overturned. So he did this. And then look what happened. Governor Gavin Newsom Y'all don't know how I was trying to get this done quickly. I was trying my best to get this done because I was so upset. Governor Gavin Newsom, he signs an executive order that puts a hold on all executions while he is in office. He put a hold on all executions while he was in office. And then, Scott's death sentence was overturned. And the reason why it was overturned is because the jury was improperly screened for bias against the death penalty. And that was August 24th of 2020. August 24th, 2020. Then on October 14th, 2020, Scott Peterson's case was sent back to San Mateo County. Why did they send it back? They wanted them to examine Peterson's murder conviction because a juror did not disclose involvement in other legal proceedings, including but not limited to being the victim of a crime. The last ruling is part of an ongoing appeals case. It's a court case. So there's an appeal in the works. So they sent it back to San Mateo County, October 14th. Sent it back, 2020. They said, okay, let's take this back. Because when you answer those jury forms and the questions that are on there, you need to make sure that you're answering honestly to the best of your ability, because if anything is not right, the defense attorney is going to pull through these jury forms to try to find anything for an appeal. See, you look too, you couldn't find a reason. Oh, Governor Newsom. I like that name, Governor Newsom. So then, after all of that occurred, he was resentenced. He was resentenced due to this appeal right here for them sending this back to San Mateo County. He was resentenced by Judge Christine Masula, I guess that's her name, to life in prison without any sense of parole. He can't get parole, and that was on December 8th of 2021. 2021. Then he was just moved off of death row. They don't give you the date when he was moved off of death row, but that happened in October. He was moved off of death row. In April of 2023, a writ of habeas corpus was done. And this is because it was a violation of state and federal constitutional rights and the state statutory rights, including a claim of actual innocence that is supported by newly discovered evidence. Did we hear that? There is newly supported evidence that has been discovered. So, my question is Scott Peterson innocent? And we're going to go through this new evidence. So, the Los Angeles Innocence Project decided to take his case in January. They're investigating Peterson's claim of actual innocence. January of 2024. There was a Zoom court hearing, March 12th. And this is following new motion. So I have that court hearing, and we are going to take a listen to it. Yes, I did, Maria. His supposed new evidence. Yes. Oh my God. Jennifer, you will remember already. What are you doing, woman? Okay, so let's go take a look at this hearing. You're going to see Scott there with his ponytail. And yep, let's take a look at Scott Peterson. And they said, "Good morning, Mr. Peterson." Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Peterson. Can you both see and hear the proceedings, sir?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Convicted murderer Scott Peterson appearing virtually in court today for the first time since his case was taken on by the Los Angeles Innocence Project.
We spent a lot of time trying to suss out what frankly are very alarming deficiencies in the discovery that was provided to the defense at the time of trial.
The 51-year-old zooming in from Mule Creek State Prison with a striking new look, his hair pulled back into a ponytail, listening in as his new legal team made their first public arguments after filing a bombshell motion.
Mr. Peterson has been waiting 20 years to find some of these police reports and audio recordings and video recordings that should have been provided.
Peterson's lawyers insisting he did not kill his 8.5-month pregnant wife, Laci, and their unborn child, and says new and overlooked evidence could exonerate him. The original prosecutors who tried the case in 2004 were back in the courtroom today.
A lot of these issues have been raised and have been adjudicated.
The Innocence Project calling for them to be removed, arguing in part they are heavily invested in upholding a conviction they played a major role in obtaining. The judge allowing proceedings to move forward for now, scheduling 3 new hearings, including one in May that will determine whether DNA from a bloody mattress found in a burned out van will be retested.
There's no doubt that any.
My question is, if the van is burned out, how in the hell do you know there's a bloody mattress? How do we know the van is burned out? Why didn't the mattress burn? I've been trying to figure that out. I am with. Oh, you haven't been a member for 2 weeks? I knew you were a member before. I had to cancel. Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Did you get that taken care of, ma'am? Oh, that's right. I'm telling you. So the evidence they're talking about is the van that was put on fire in an alley less than a mile from where Peterson's house was on the same day that Laci was reported missing. They said that was weird enough not to mention a waste of perfectly good van, which was dumb. But when they really gave the Los Angeles Innocence Project and Peterson pause was the revelation that a blood-stained mattress was discovered in the back of the van. It's unclear whether the blood was Laci's, but they said that it was omitted from evidence and it might have been an oversight, but it was never tested. That lead was never followed up on. So if there's a blood-soaked mattress and Scott Peterson is out fishing somewhere, he may not have taken her. He could have had somebody else take her. I'm just, throwing out hypotheses here. But they're saying that this mattress was never tested. And the fact that there was a burglary across the street around the same time that Laci disappeared, they're thinking that, again, same shit, that she was kidnapped and killed. Then the body was dumped in the bay. But here's the thing. When they found Laci's body, granted, the head was not there, the limbs was not there. They would still be able to tell if there was any kind of stab wounds or anything else on her torso. They're saying there's a bloody mattress in this van. So what did they do? Stab her legs off, stab her in the head, stab her in the eye. No stab wounds at all to her body, to the torso that they found. So I'm trying to figure out, where did this blood come from? Now, I don't know too many people, unless they break in somebody's house and they're caught, that they may turn around and start shooting, whatever the case may be. But they're saying that this was never looked at again. So this is the same evidence that we've been hearing for quite some time. So let's just keep going with this.
Hearings being scheduled in connection with this case are small victories for Scott Peterson. In most cases, when someone makes a motion 20 years later to reevaluate the evidence, it's rejected. Here, the judge is at the least taking very seriously the questions involved.
John Bueller was a lead investigator on the case.
Well, I'm A-OK with them not dismissing it out of hand. If you come up with evidence either before trial, during trial, or after trial, test it, shake it out, see what it's all about. I have no doubt that Scott did it.
Peterson's family smiling as they walked out of the courtroom. Laci's family refusing to attend.
In a perfect world for Scott Peterson,
Look at him. Look.
he would get a new trial.
Look at him smiling. What the fuck are you smiling about? What are you smiling about? I don't see any new evidence, which I understand. They never, okay, it would be new evidence if it was never examined, if they never did what they should have done, crossing every I and dotting every, dotting every I and crossing every T. Okay, I understand blood would be present from expelling the fetus, but they said that the fetus was expelled in the ocean. Again, how did they kill her? How did they kill her? How did they kill her? I'm listening, Grass Toucher. How did they kill her? Look, how did they kill her? I'm trying to figure out. Did they stab the legs off? You know, did they cut her legs off and just threw her in the bay? Did they cut off her head and threw her in the bay? I mean, if you're going to do all of that, why don't you just leave her in the van that you're burning to get rid of the evidence? I'm just saying, why take the time to dump her body in the bay if you're going to burn the van? Why don't you leave her in the van? I'm just trying to see, how does that make sense? So they drove her to the ocean, to the bay, dumped the body, and then drove back a mile from the house and set the van on fire. I'm just, Scott did it. Okay, let's go.
But trying someone 20-something years later, it gets a lot harder. Memories have faded. Witnesses will have died. It fundamentally changes a trial.
Is that why we're doing it now?
Attorneys claim that from the start, authorities zeroed in on the wrong man, claiming there were witnesses who say they saw Laci on the day she went missing who were not properly interviewed.
There are a number of other witnesses.
Now, they are saying that there are 15 categories of evidence for their investigation. They're focused on revisiting parts of the case that Peterson, his attorneys, and others, and they're aimed at supporting the case. They're building around 4 key phases. And one of those would be the neighbor, the first witness, that said they saw Laci walking their dog around the neighborhood after Scott left to go fishing. How do we know it was after Scott left to go fishing? Why? Because this thing wasn't there. Doesn't mean he didn't come back home, which they said would decimate the timeline that the police and prosecutors constructed. It's kind of hard to make someone disappear when you aren't physically present. Not really. You could have hired somebody. But again, nobody ever said that Scott had any kind of accomplices. That has never come up. That was never said. They went by the weight that they found that they said had weight. He was missing a weight in the boat. They went by the stuff that he built. So let's finish listening to this.
This is who we have been investigating.
They also claim a burglary across the street from the Peterson home happened on the same day
No,
Laci
not
went
yet.
missing and was not fully investigated.
Their allegation here is that some witnesses believed that Laci Peterson interrupted that burglary and then she was killed because of it by those who were involved in it.
The Innocence Project also asking for more extensive DNA testing of a piece of fabric found in a burned out van a mile away the day after Laci's disappearance.
Dad.
A mile away. Now, is that the mattress? Now, this thing is burned out. Burned out.
Orange van had actually been seen where one of the witnesses saw Laci. So there was a connection between the van and a possible Laci sighting.
So somebody's blood is on a mattress in the back of a van that was burned deliberately. Who?
That a burned van was found not far away.
Okay, so let's look at this blood. You see it. There is the blood. Right there. I find this completely shocking that they did not do any DNA testing on this van. Even if your sight was set on Scott, you have a burned out van when a neighbor supposedly said that Laci was in that area, and you find this van with a blood-soaked mattress, and you didn't do any DNA on this. That makes no sense to me. And not if you think about it, it makes no sense. You're investigating a missing person. They said the burglary had no connection. But if you find a van that's burned out and there's a bloody mattress in the back, wouldn't you want to do DNA testing on that? I know I would.
That a burned van was found not far away from their home by the Modesto airport. You got to admit, even if police were able to clear those, coincidentally, that's weird.
It is
Former
weird.
Modesto Fire Inspector Brian Spitulski responded to that burned out van on Christmas morning, the day after Laci went missing.
There was a stain back there that presented as a rust-colored stain.
Spitulski says that he and the Modesto Police Department tested the mattress, and it came up positive for human blood.
I don't know that I was tying the moment to Laci. I was more tying the moment that it was human blood. It made it like this was much more important than just a burned vehicle that somebody was just wanting to get rid of or cover up. We cut off a piece of the fabric.
I mean, it could have been another crime. It could have been another crime. The burglars could have got into a fight or whatever. But the fact that you said it was human blood, this young woman is missing. You've got her family there. Wouldn't you take DNA from that family to check against the blood on that mattress? I understand what the Innocence Project is saying. I really do. I really understand this. So they're going for ineffective counseling. They have a juror who was going through their own legal issues, and they were a victim of a crime, but they never disclosed it during this trial. That's fucked up.
Went into a evidence container, an envelope, and that was taken to the Department of Justice.
The Innocence Project also says the full results from the police investigation were never shared with Peterson's defense team at trial. His original lawyer, Mark Garagos.
Motion claims that there was blood found in the van and it was likely never tested against Laci's DNA. Was your team made aware of this?
Not in real time, no. And by the way, we were getting dumped discovery literally while we were trying the case.
I was never contacted. And I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but it does.
So let me just say this. You have to ask for discovery. You, as a defense attorney, must ask for discovery all the time. If you don't ask, the prosecutor does not have to give you anything. You have to ask for discovery. You have to ask for it as the defense attorney. Mark Garagos, you've been trying stuff for a long time. You know how these cops work. You know how the prosecutors work. Unless you ask for it, you will not receive it.
Definitely was an important piece of evidence that needs to be addressed.
The mattress samples were tested in 2019 at the request of Peterson's defense team, but results were inconclusive, and the Innocence Project wants them tested again.
The Innocence Project, who are experts on DNA, thinks that better samples can be taken, and there are different procedures and newer scientific methods that may be able to sequence that DNA to determine whether it's associated with a crime. If Laci's DNA is in that van, then the case is over.
Yep,
The judge today is scheduling a date in May to decide whether or not they will retest those samples for DNA.
If that happens, that's a big win for Scott Peterson.
I have no doubt that Scott did it. And I have no doubt that if they do repetitive testing on the blood that was found in that mattress from the burned out van, that it's not going to reveal anything that has anything whatsoever to do with the Peterson case.
Peterson has repeatedly appealed for a new trial, so far with no success. But his death sentence was overturned to life in prison after the California Supreme Court ruled that his jury was improperly screened for bias against the death penalty. Peterson has always maintained he did not kill his wife.
This is a brutal thing for Laci's family and her friends to have to go through every couple of years when they come up with some new idea. It just dredges up these feelings of tragedy, loss.
In a statement after today's hearing, the Los Angeles Innocence Project stated that it was just the first step in a long process and that they will continue to present our case in court where it should be adjudicated.
Meaning they're not going to be talking to the press. They're going to, everything is going to be done in the courts, which the way things should be done. You should never try a case in front of the media or in front of the public. Now, the fourth piece of evidence they're saying is that Laci's watch was sold at 2 separate pawn shops while she was still missing. That don't mean shit. Scott could have taken that watch and given it to anybody, but they're asking for all the records from the watch from when it was pawned on December 31st of 2002, the week after she disappeared, and then it was pawned again on February 14th, 2003. The original person who pawned the watch gave the name Deanna, suggesting someone female presenting, they took it into the pawn shop to get it pawned. But if they pawned it in December, that means that they had to retrieve it or someone else bought it and then they pawned it again, because December 31st, it's not Christmas time, it's after Christmas, you pawned the watch. Laci was reported missing December 24th of 2002. The watch was pawned December 31st. Then it was pawned again in February, on Valentine's Day. So the thing is, pawn shops have to keep records of all their transactions, all of them. Now, this is, I don't know if they're going to have any surveillance tape or anything, but they have to keep records. And you have one, I'm more than sure you have to show an ID now. So that is the question. Those are the 4 pieces of evidence. They want to talk to the witnesses again that said they saw Laci. I don't know if these people are still alive or not. I have no idea. And Grass Touchy, you stated that Laci's sister is backing Scott. Are we sure? That's shocking to me. Very shocking. I'm sure, because they just said her family wants no part of this. But the witness that they're talking about, her name is Karen Service, and she said that she saw Peterson's dog, Mackenzie, wandering unaccompanied on the street, wearing his leash. Peterson's truck was gone, and Laci's car was still in the driveway. She said she got the dog, put the dog, there was no signs of activity at the house. She put the dog in the backyard and closed the gate. Okay, she got the dog. So Ron, which was Laci's mom, her longtime partner, I thought it was her husband, but they weren't married at the time. He said that he tried to reach Laci all afternoon without any success. At 3:45, Amy received a call that her gift basket had not been picked up, and she was unable to reach Laci. Neighbors reported Peterson's truck still absent at 4:05 p.m., but was back by 5:30. Now, they were supposed to be going to a Christmas Eve dinner at her family's home. So at 5:15, Scott called Sharon, Laci's mom, and asked if Laci was there. He described Laci as missing. The mom suggested he check with her friends and neighbors. Now, the truck was back at 5:30 p.m. And this time really bugged me. At around 5:15, he called Laci's mom. How did he know Laci was missing if the truck wasn't back at the house until 5:30 p.m.? So Sharon called the police. They went over, they met with Scott, Sharon, and Ron at a nearby park. They met him at a park. Neighbors and other relatives gathered at the park as well. Ron spoke with Peterson, Scott, and asked if he had gone golfing that day. Scott said he had changed his mind and he had gone fishing instead. And he told Ron what time he went fishing. And Ron said it was unusually late time to be fishing. Scott walked away without responding. Ron told a cousin of Sharon's, who's Laci's mom, and two neighbors that he had been golfing all day. So he told the mom and two neighbors that he had been golfing. And then he volunteered and was telling this lady named Sandy Rickard, who's a friend of Laci's mom, that he would not be surprised if the police found blood in his truck because he cut his hands all the time. To me, he's putting up this alibi. Oh my God, Gypsy. Oh my God. Hi, Glenn Crack. Oh my God, Gypsy. Gypsy, do you believe that Scott is innocent or guilty? I mean, since your kids were out there helping look for her, did they get a sense that Scott was guilty? So they inspected the home. There was no signs of forced entry. Nothing appeared missing. Laci's purse was still there. And that he and Laci had watched television that morning and she had planned on walking a dog. Your wife is 8.5 months pregnant. She was supposed to be on bed rest. Why are you letting Laci go walk the dog? And then she was going to go grocery shopping. So he decided to go fishing in the San Francisco Bay. So then Peterson gives his timeline. He said he got home around 4:30, but the neighbor said they didn't see the truck until 5:30. That's when the truck was back in his driveway. He said he got home at 4:30. He washed his clothes, ate some pizza, and called Sharon to track down Laci. Now, you've been gone all day. Your wife is 8.5 months pregnant. She could have been rushed to a hospital. She could have had anything that happened. You hadn't called her all day, but you get home, you wash your clothes, you eat some pizza, and then you call her mother to track her down. No, he was never looking for her. Oh, damn, you knew he was guilty from the word go. Damn. So your wife, 8.5 months pregnant, this is what I have a hard time with. You've been gone all day. He doesn't even mention anything about the dog in the backyard. And if you remember the interview that he gave this reporter, his wife is missing. His phone is going off. He is smiling and turned his phone off. Your wife is missing, but you turn your phone off so as not to disturb your interview. That's the shit that got me. I was like, wait a minute. Your wife is missing and you turned your phone off. I was like, are you kidding me? He turned the phone off. People were blowing him up. And I'm just like, wait a minute. All right, so let me just, hold on. I'm going to get you this. Let's just stop sharing this one for a minute and let's get this interview. I don't want the interview he did with Diane Sawyer. He never mentioned, never said nothing about the dog. Never.
First of all, describe what the past month has been for you.
That's been absolutely terrible, as it is for everyone. I mean, you see us in press conference. You haven't seen me as much in the media, but you see our families and the raw emotion that's out there and the grief.
Yep, you look like
the
you're
frustration. You know, we go through a range of emotions from anger to frustration to grief.
A month.
For me,
your baby should have been born.
It comes at different times during the day. 2 weeks ago, I knew exactly what to do. I'd go to the volunteer center at the Red Lion and open up the center and wait for the volunteers to come and work on things. And then I'd go out and put up flyers. I knew exactly what to do, and that was going to bring Laci home. And now I don't know exactly what to do, and that's so frustrating. That's the hardest part. I mean, we have a
he was sitting in the house on the phone
to get her picture out there nationally through corporations and organizations and
watching TV,
obviously
and
media and other means. So we continue to work tirelessly. Many people do, to bring her home, and we can do that during the day. And unfortunately, at night, don't know what to do, and the grief hits, and it's
you look like you're grieving.
You also have to recognize that Laci is hurting worse than any of us. She's the one that's not with our family. She's the one that we need to find and bring home.
I know you have
So
moments.
that gives you focus. It gives you, there are times when you just can't continue, and you're driving, you have to pull over and stop, and if you're doing something, you just can't continue. Try to stay busy and have a task, to know what to do, a positive task, and try to focus on that.
I know that there are certain areas you can't go to. It's hard to go to the park.
It's hard to go to. Yeah, it's important though.
He looks like he's been sleeping really well, doesn't he? For a man whose wife is missing, knowing that your child should be born by now, you don't look like you're losing sleep. There's no bags under his eyes, nothing. I mean, nothing. He doesn't look like he is stressed out at all.
I feel closer to her. Maybe that's a attempt to communicate or something. But yeah, definitely.
And you mentioned right off the start that you haven't been in the media.
No. It was for the first 3 days or so when she disappeared. It was an absolute privacy issue, not showing the grief of our family, not exploiting that.
No, you were trying
After
to
that,
hide
it was a
because you didn't
conscious
want
decision
Amber Fry
to
to see your
remain out
ass
of the
on
media. I
TV.
decided upon by everyone in the family and the volunteers in order to, and I'm sorry to say it to media, but to keep the media here, to keep them hungry for, an interview with me or a picture, so that they would keep coming back, so this story won't fall through the
I
cracks.
doubt
as
if her
has
family
happened
told
with
you
other
that
missing
shit.
people, with other abductions.
I remember Sharon said that you hadn't been out doing anything. She said she really believes that you know a lot more than what you're saying. You showed that family from the beginning that you did not care. And she said it. She came out and said it in public at a news conference.
And it's up to the family to keep that going. So we made that conscious decision together.
No, you didn't.
That I wouldn't speak. Obviously, we did lots of media with the rest of the family. And to keep them here, I didn't. But unfortunately now, the suspicions of me have grown so great due to people, wondering what happened to the inappropriate relationship that I had with Amber Fry.
Inappropriate?
That it's necessary to speak. It's appropriate time to, in order to ask people to keep looking for Laci, because they're not looking for Laci as much as they should be right now.
Let's talk about some of those suspicions, because there are a lot of suspicions out there. I think people want to know, first of all, why would you leave Laci, who was 8.5 months pregnant, alone to go fishing on Christmas Eve?
Okay. Our day was planned for, Christmas Eve dinner at her mom's house, our mom's house.
Our mom's
were all
house.
made.
No, her
just
mom.
Done. Laci was simply going to be baking that day. And it's not uncommon for us to, simply, we have separate pursuits. She does not, play golf as I do, which was my other option for that day. And being,
But you told Sharon's friend and a couple of neighbors that you had been golfing all day. Your stories, that's how you got your ass in hot
7.5
water.
months pregnant, she's not going to want to go out in a boat. But it's simply a leisure activity to pursue that day. And, was what our plans were. It may not be everyone's choice to do things like that, but it's the way that our relationship works.
I know when I approached you on Amber Fry, and I told you that I would be reporting that you had a girlfriend,
right.
Your response to me is that you had no comment either way. Why didn't you just come clean then?
Well, I'm glad you asked the question. It simply, wasn't appropriate to comment on it. And unfortunately, there has been a statement in the press that I denied it, which was made with another reporter when I characterized a National Enquirer article as a pack of lies. And I did so without reading the article, unfortunately. The article I thought to include, I know also included a supposed life insurance policy, supposed blood evidence.
No, there wasn't a supposedly life insurance policy. There was a life insurance policy, $250,000. There was a life insurance policy, and the judge ruled and gave it to Laci's mother.
And I forget what else, but also included the report of Amber. So I called it a pack of lies.
Do you hear his phone?
There, so it's just not.
His phone is going off.
About that. I'm glad that Amber came forward. You want me to turn that off?
His wife is missing.
That's my phone, unfortunately. I thought it was off.
Look.
And I'll just answer that question again.
He doesn't even check the phone. He just goes and turns it off.
Somewhere here. Yeah, it's kind of going crazy, isn't it?
Your wife is missing.
Okay.
He turns it off. He doesn't even check it. He doesn't check to see
Yeah, so if you just want to ask
who
your
was
question again,
calling or call the person back.
Once again, if you can just talk about why didn't you just come forward at the time when I asked you if you had a girlfriend? Why didn't
If your spouse was missing, your phone is ringing off the hook, would you just get up and go find the phone and turn it off, or would you check to see who's calling and call that person back?
you just come clean then?
right. At that time, it wasn't appropriate to comment about because it's not relevant.
It was relevant.
I'm glad you asked it because there were reports that I denied it.
Exactly,
When I
Pablo.
characterized a National Enquirer article as a pack of lies that included, unknowing to me, I knew that the article included this supposed life insurance policy bought this summer, supposed blood evidence, and other strange reports like taking the floors out of our home. And I didn't know it included, this relationship that I had. So I characterized that as a pack of lies.
You would still
and
have
that's
it.
come
Amanda
out
Fry
as
broke it
a
off,
denial,
but she led you on for a
which
while.
is it was never intended to be. I simply approached that issue as it's not relevant, and there's no reason to comment about it. There's a reason to comment about the number. Now I'm glad that Amber did the press conference.
No, you're not.
I'm glad that she came forward because it allows lots of people, I believe, to start looking for Laci again because it's slacked off because of that, because there's suspicion about me.
She claims you deceived her. She claims
Amber.
that, yeah.
Yes, she
claims
did
that
not
you-
know. She did not know that I was married. That is correct. And, so I'm glad she came forward. I informed her that I am married, and of Laci's disappearance shortly after,
You're lying.
Christmas Eve is a couple of days after Christmas.
She called you because she saw it on the news. You didn't inform her of shit. She called you. Did she call you first or the police? I can't remember. But she called you and confronted you with that shit when you telling her you in Paris.
Christmas Eve, I don't know the exact date. I'm glad she did the press conference. I'm glad that's out there. It had nothing to do with Laci's disappearance.
Your stomach must have been turning, though, when you see her go on television and it's national. And here's this girl saying, he lied to me. He told me he was single.
Sure.
I mean, your stomach must have been turning.
You know what is a positive to allow us to go on to search for Laci. That's how I view it, and that's how I felt about it.
That's not how her family felt about it.
This will be done in a week, and keep looking for Laci.
Now, you know Laci's family says they can no longer trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was unfair and inappropriate for me to have that relationship.
How do you feel, though, that, the Rocha family says they can't trust you?
They're wonderful people, the Rocha family. I know that, we all have love between us. And
I don't have no love for you.
For Laci. And, I told Laci about the relationship. She knew about it, and it's
no, she didn't.
Between us. And
no, she didn't.
We'll continue to search for her and bring her home.
That's another problem people had a big issue with. A lot of Laci's family talked to me and friends saying, if Laci knew that you were having an affair, she would have said something to someone. She would have kept quiet about it.
I don't know if she mentioned it to anyone or not. I did see a report in the news, an interview with a friend of ours, Lori, that indicated that she did not believe that I had told Laci. Lori also said, I know Scott, and he had nothing to do with her disappearance. And that statement to me is what's relevant. Because you can, question my morals and my poor decision making. That's fine. But don't stop looking for Laci. She's out there somewhere.
Does anybody believe he told Laci that he was fucking somebody else? Does anybody believe that? And she's 8.5 months pregnant. You told your wife about this relationship. She's already emotional. She's pregnant. She didn't tell her mom. She didn't tell her best friends. She didn't talk to her brother. She didn't tell nobody that you were screwing around on her. Scott, stop it.
She shouldn't be. She should be with our family.
You mentioned.
So let's keep working to bring her home.
I know that you mentioned during the network interview that only you and Laci know your marriage.
That's correct.
Explain
That's
that.
true.
just as anyone's intimate relationships.
But you never told her you were
it's,
having an affair. I can guarantee you
it's
never
between
said
those two people. And yes, you share things with people, and some things you don't share with people.
Now, did Laci find out about the affair, or did you just come out and tell her?
No, I informed her about it.
You
I don't
just-
believe
No,
she
you
knew.
didn't.
Why come out? I mean, what made you say, I'm going to tell her today? What made that day the day to tell her?
Just because it was the right thing to do. And as you know, when you're not doing the right thing, it just,
The girlfriend couldn't have threatened to tell Laci anything because the girlfriend didn't even know he was married until she saw him on the news when they did the vigil. And most of the times he wasn't out there because the press was out there and he didn't want to be seen on camera. One time they were doing a vigil, he actually called her and said he was in Paris. She did not know he was married, so she couldn't have threatened him with anything. That's a damn liar.
eats you up. You feel, sick to your stomach and you can't function, and you have a hard time, looking at someone.
Right. You mentioned it was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But from my understanding is that after you told Laci, you continued to see Amber. Was that also the
I
right
saw
thing to
her.
do?
Yeah. No, it was not.
Explain that.
That is the explanation. It was not the right thing to do.
But you continued to do it.
Right, and it was not the right thing to do.
And then even after Laci went missing, you continued to romance this girl?
No.
She claimed
Yes, you
that
did.
called her on the 24th and told her.
I informed Amber about Laci's disappearance and the fact that I was married.
No, you did not.
No, not on the 24th. I believe it was probably it was a few days after.
She says that you called her on the 24th, December 24th, and told her you were with your parents in Maine. Is that
Okay.
true?
I called her and informed her about Laci's disappearance.
On the
No, you
24th of
didn't.
December.
No, I did not. It was a few days after that I called her and told her I was married.
No, you
She
didn't.
claims, let me just finish. She just claims that you called her on the 24th, told her that you were going to Maine, you were visiting your family in Maine, and then you were going to Brussels.
Gloria, I'm not going to waste what little media time we have, and in this forum, with
Hi, Big Bad Wolf.
this is a short newscast, and I don't know how much of these words you're going to use or not. But I'm not going to waste that by defending myself or talking about irrelevant things.
He's a liar.
It's better served if we talk about what happened and where's Laci.
Okay.
So the facts are that we know.
The facts are you lied. You never told your wife, because if you told her and you kept seeing Amber, she would have left your ass, left you, and went to her parents or her moms and her families. So no, you did not tell her that you were having an affair. You did not tell Amber Fry you were married. She saw it on the news and she called you and asked you, was that you on the news? Are you married? That woman had no reason to lie.
That on Christmas Eve, I left the house here around 9:30. She was here in the home.
and friends.
Okay, that's a fact that has to get out there because it's been reported erroneously that I saw her leave the house. Okay, she was in the house. It's one thing we know. Second thing we know is that the dog was returned to our yard with its leash on at 10:30 by a neighbor. Those are two things we know about her disappearance. And hopefully those can help some people. There are things that we need to get out there are the tip lines, which is the Modesto Police Tip Line, 209-342-6166, and also 1-866-LACI info, LACI info. And that's tip line for people who have talked to the police. Even if they talked to them, please call that tip line if you saw her that day, if you've seen her since, or if there's something you think is important in the neighborhood. We want to be very specific.
Okay.
The other big push that we need is LaciPeterson.com. People can go there and print off the flyers and distribute those into every medical center, bus stop, high traffic area in the nation, because it could be the next flyer that brings her home to our family.
Get it, the
I know-
next flyer.
I know more than
The
more
next
than-
flyer.
I know that you want to find Laci, And the second thing you want to do
Hi, Claudia.
is clear yourself from suspicion, correct? I mean, that is, you want the focus back on Laci and not on you.
I want people looking for Laci because they're not doing that right now. And that's why I'm sitting down with you in hopes that people will go, you know what? If I think he had some involvement, if I don't think he had some involvement, that doesn't matter because Laci is what matters. And she's out there missing and she needs to be home with her families. So I don't care to defend myself. I don't care what people think of me. You know, as I've said, question my moral character if you want to, but look at your heart, think of Laci, her picture, baby, and make the effort to bring
This
her
is
home.
the first time
That's as simple.
he mentioned that baby. You got to remember, this interview was a month after Laci was missing. The first time he mentions that baby, this man is not crying. He's not upset. You know your child is supposed to be born by now. Look at you. Nothing. Nothing.
Reality. That's a simple thing we need to do. Just, you know, think whatever you want of me.
I think you're a piece of
shit. As long as you're out there and
always
you're comfortable with
when I
yourself,
heard about
that
this,
you're
I
doing
still
what
do.
you need to be doing to find Laci and bring her home.
I know that law enforcement officials have told me that you won't take a lie detector test.
Nope.
That you've wavered back and forth on that. Why?
Well, let me say this about the investigation. I gave you 2 times earlier, 9:30 and 10:30 when the dog was returned here. Investigators on both sides, law enforcement and private, have asked me not to comment anymore about times, about conversations I have with the police, about the possible polygraph, you know, tests if I've taken or not, and other, you know, things surrounding the investigation so that it can be clear. So I'm simply not going to comment
On why you're
about
not going
those
to take
things.
it?
I'm not going to comment if I have or have not taken a polygraph.
You haven't,
The life
and you
insurance
didn't.
policy. Why take one out on Laci? $250,000.
We have life insurance policies in place that were established when we bought this home that you're in right now 2 years ago. There was no life insurance policy taken out recently, as has been reported in the National Enquirer, the dubious source of, you know, alien information as well.
I know that a neighbor saw you removing things on the 24th. You mentioned this morning that it was umbrellas.
Yeah, we have some large umbrellas for the backyard pool area. Market umbrellas, I think, is the term for them.
Why would you store those in the winter?
It started to rain, so I was going to store them. Just like you asked, why would I store them? I was taking them from the pool to store.
Officials of mine have told me, sources have mentioned to me, that there were cement bags that were in the storage area, and apparently a few of them were empty.
Sure.
Explain that.
Well, I could take you out in the backyard and show you all the cement work and brickwork that we've done to this home. You'd find, you know, cement bags around here.
So this was something that it was home remodeling, or what were you doing with the cement?
Yeah. And again, we're starting to go into areas that investigators have asked me not to comment about. So we should probably.
What investigators?
You know, simply put the brakes on at that point.
Okay.
We
I
want to
don't want
know.
to comment about the life insurance policy. But I don't want to give specific times or other information that could jeopardize what they find is valuable information in finding Laci.
Okay. I know that you mentioned on Good Morning America that it wouldn't surprise you if they found blood
Sure.
in your vehicles. Explain why.
Well, take a look at my hand. You can see, you know, cuts here on my knuckles, numerous scars. I work on farms. I work with machinery. I know I cut my knuckle that day.
On what day?
On Christmas Eve.
Doing what?
Reaching in the toolbox of my truck and then into the pocket on the door. I cut open my knuckle and there's a blood stain on the door, on the driver's side door.
Sources of mine have mentioned that you also, when you came home on the 24th, did some laundry. You washed your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand why that may look a little suspicious to
Mhm.
the average person? Why would he come home and do his laundry?
Exactly.
Well, the average guy that goes out in the ocean fishing gets some salt water on him and comes home wet.
And so
What are you going to do with your
tidy.
wet saltwater clothes?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I go fishing. Well, I haven't been fishing in about 8-9 years now, but we would go fishing. Put the clothes in the laundry room. But you did your laundry, you ate pizza, and then you called her mother. Got you.
Anyways, but now again, I probably shouldn't even mention that because what they've asked me not to. So we should, let's stop with that line of question.
One other thing to you, and that was, I talked to Mr. Rocha yesterday, Dennis Rocha.
Oh, great, good.
And he didn't have too many positive things to say.
Correct.
One of the things he said, and I'm quoting here, as far as you're concerned, it's lie after lie with Scott.
Yep,
Does
lie
the guy
after
ever
lie.
tell the truth. Your
That's
reaction.
unfortunate that that's his thought of me.
Do you understand why he feels that way, though? As far as the girlfriend is concerned, and
Well, certainly, it was an inappropriate thing, and I never lied to Dennis. I've never lied to Dennis. I think I saw him last Laci's disappearance, and prior to that, it was a year before that Laci and I never saw him. That's her father, Dennis.
right. And I have
So
to ask
Scott
you,
is the daddy.
Sure.
are you in any way connected to Laci's disappearance?
I had nothing to do with Laci's disappearance.
What
And
was-
again, even if people out there question that, if they would just look at their hearts and make the effort to bring her home to her family, I don't care what you think of me.
Because someone out
But
there
no, someone out there knows. And you can be the key to finding them. by
Oh
putting
my
out
God.
That, Nick's
You're looking
flyer.
at the camera.
Well, it's a plea to the audience.
ahead.
That's why we're doing this.
Go ahead. I mean, if you want to make a statement to anybody who out
Well, that is, look in your hearts and know that you've done what you can to bring Laci home. And if you haven't, please do it. And that's going to LaciPeterson.com and printing out that flyer and putting it in every medical building, on your car, and bus stations, or use the tip lines if you have any information. That's what's going to bring her home. And think what you want of me, but in your hearts you should be helping Laci.
I know that.
That's really all I think I have to say.
Okay. I just want to ask
Thanks,
you
Gloria.
one last thing, if that's okay, about Laci, because I know that you get really choked up when you talk about it. Tell me
Yeah.
a
What?
little bit about Laci.
God, what? No. I think you can sum it up.
He gets
pretty
choked
easily
up?
with looking at her photograph. The photograph for a big smile in the press.
Because you guys met in college, or
Yeah.
and tell me what connected you two right away. I know she's got a beautiful smile, but
Mm-hmm.
what linked you guys?
I don't know, just being able to complete each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But you asked how.
Okay, let's listen
it's
to your
just not
phone ringing again.
important to comment about that. I'm glad that
My wife's
Amber came
listening.
forward.
My
I'm gonna
phone is
turn that
going
off
off.
What is that?
That's my phone. Unfortunately, I thought it was.
Unfortunately, that's what he said. Unfortunately, that's my
Let me turn that
phone.
off
Yeah,
and-
what is that?
That's my phone. Unfortunately, I thought it was.
Unfortunately,
And I'll have to
that's
look at
his
that
phone.
picture. And you know that she's a bright one, a bright light in a lot of people's lives.
He mentioned that baby one time.
She is.
Never called him by the
Yes.
name that they had said they were going to name the
Laci's still
child.
alive. She's out there and someone's holding her, and these are critical
You can't even force
days
a
that we
tear
have
out
left
of your
until
eye.
the due date of February 16th. And we just need all of your help.
You haven't said anything about your baby.
That's entirely too difficult to speak about.
Do you go into the baby's room?
No, that door's closed.
Okay,
How long will it remain
let's
closed?
listen to the
Doors are
phone ringing
open.
one more time.
Thank you.
Your wife's missing.
That I'm glad that Amber came forward. You want me to turn that off?
Yeah,
and-
what is that?
That's
You
my
want me
phone,
to turn that
unfortunately. I thought it
off?
was
My
off.
wife's
And I'll
missing.
answer that question
My
again.
phone is ringing off the hook.
So I called it a pack of lies, not knowing that she was in there. So it's just not important to comment about that. I'm glad that Amber came forward.
That can be a
Let me
call
turn
saying
that
they
off.
found Laci.
That's my phone. Unfortunately, I thought it was off. And I'll just answer that question again.
And that's some shit. That is some shit. When I first saw that interview, I said, wait a minute. his wife is missing and he's worrying about his phone ringing and disturbing it. Do you want me to turn that off? Not one time did he check that phone to see if it was the police calling, if it was his in-laws calling to say, hey, we found Laci. He went, found that phone, turned it off, opened it up, turned it off, put it back on the counter, and came back in to finish his bullshit story. Now tell me that man is innocent. Tell me he's innocent. I don't give a shit about these 4 pieces of evidence and having the mattress checked, which the DNA should have been done. Yes, it should have been checked against Laci's or against the family, and just to rule it out. So he's going back to court again in April for some discovery hearings, and I'm definitely going to be there for that. But this shit is ridiculous. Your phone, I'd never forget hearing that phone ringing. And I was waiting. And when he said, do you want me to turn that off? And then, no, he said, it's my phone, unfortunately. Do you want me to turn it off? Your wife is missing. She's been missing over a month. Your phone is ringing off the hook. And you don't go answer the phone to see who's calling. It could have been right there on the news. Hey, we found Laci. We got her. And it would have been right there on the news. And then you still lying about telling your wife you had an affair. You still lying about telling Amber Fry that you were married. She called you. Let me see, can I find that Amber Fry interview? Hold on. I didn't even think about that one. Let me see, can I find that Amber Fry interview? Hold on. Hold on. Let me get this. I got it. Now, I have his phone calls with Amber Fry. Hold on. Let me share this. This man is full of buku shit. This was January 6th.
Okay.
I'm so sorry that this has happened, and I'm so sorry I'm going to hurt you in this way. I don't want to do this over the phone. I want to tell you this. I want to be there in person and tell you this. But I'm sure that's why Saki called you.
See, and this is what Amber is lying to you. She had been watching the news.
Why would that? What are you talking about?
See, we're saying that. Sorry, Amber. Well, I'll just tell you.
Okay.
You haven't been watching the news, obviously.
No.
Why do you see that?
I have not been traveling during the last couple of weeks. I've lied to you when I've been traveling.
Okay.
Now, Amber knew all of this.
The girl I got married to, her name is Laci.
Mm-hmm.
She disappeared just before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
With her family in mind, searching for her.
Okay.
She just disappeared, and no one knows
Okay. Now,
where she's been.
Scott.
And I can't tell you more because I need you to be protected from the media and Ayana. Okay, they are amazing.
Scott.
Yeah.
Are you listening?
I am.
You came to me earlier in December and told me that you had lost your wife. What was that about?
She's alive.
What?
She's alive.
Where? She's alive? Where?
In Modesto. Now, I know this is the hardest. I wanted to tell you first. You need to protect yourself from the media.
Okay.
Okay, if you've been watching the news at all, or you haven't,
See, he's telling her to protect herself from the media because he doesn't want this shit to get out. That's why he's telling her this. He's a narcissist.
The media has been telling everyone that I had something to do with her disappearance. So the past 2 weeks I've been hunted by the media. And I don't want you to be involved in this to protect yourself. I know that I've destroyed, and I hope so much that this doesn't hurt you.
How could it not affect me?
It does. And
How can you possibly think that this would not affect me?
Amber, I know it does. But I know I've just been towing up the last 2 weeks wanting to tell you, and I'm so weak that I haven't, and I just hope that I had to call you and tell you that.
You never answered my question, Scott.
Sweetie, you don't, I can't say anymore.
I think I deserve.
You deserve so much better. There's no question you deserve so much better.
Yeah, and I deserve to understand an explanation of why you told me you'd lost your wife and this was the first holidays you'd spend without her. That was December 9th. You told me this, and now all of a sudden your wife's missing? Are you kidding me? Did you hear me?
I did. I don't know what to say.
I think an explanation would be a start.
I know you absolutely deserve an explanation.
Yes, I do. I do.
And I want to give you one.
I'm listening.
I can't now. I mean, you don't understand. You don't understand the situation.
Then why don't you let me in on the situation and make me understand?
I can't now. I'm so sorry for that.
Why?
It's to protect all of us.
To protect all of who?
Everyone involved.
So where is she?
That's what we are trying to find out. It's a nationwide search. It's a $500,000 reward for information leading to her safe return.
Okay, so again, you never answered my question. Why did you tell me it would be the first holidays without her?
I can't. I can't explain any more now. I'm so sorry. You should be so angry at me, and I hope you are.
Yeah, isn't that what you told me before? Oh, I wish, it'd be so much easier if you just hate me and not want to talk to me. And of course, the person I am, of course I'm going to say, you told me you lost your wife. You sat there in front of me and cried and broke down. I sat there and held your hand, Scott, and comforted you. And you were lying to me. Again, you're lying to me about lying.
I lied to you about traveling, yeah.
That's among everything else.
He lied about everything.
That's just an added. So again, are you going? Is it that you're just not going to answer me?
I want to.
And what's stopping you? And what's stopping you from answering? Why would you tell me this on March 9th that you have lost your wife? And I'm sorry, I can't tell you until after I get back to Europe and about this tragedy. And I asked you, are you ready for me? Oh, absolutely. This will be the first holidays without my wife. I'm going to spend them with my family in Maine. Is this not what you said?
It is.
It is. And how do you explain all of a sudden you tell me it's a national search?
It is. Yes.
How is that just not such a coincidence?
If you think I had something to do with her disappearance, it does so wrong.
Really?
Yes, it is.
So how is there such a coincidence to that story from what you're telling me right now about what?
No.
And you still have the audacity to call me sweetie right now.
Yep.
First, let's see. First, Dave, my friend Dave lies to me about his wife.
I know
he lied to you and tell you about this.
I know it.
And then you have the audacity to say, how do you handle something like this? Are you kidding me? And to put me in a position And you want to protect me from the media? Why did you involve me in this? What role did I play? How long were you looking for me, Scott?
I'm sorry?
How long were you looking for me?
Looking for you.
Yeah. Weren't you looking for me? Isn't that what you told Sean? You were looking for me or someone like me? How is
I want to.
what? I am just such at a loss right now.
I know.
You say you can't tell me. You want to tell me in person. At what point are you going to tell me in person, Scott?
Once we find her.
What was that?
Once we find her.
Once we find her, what?
And that will be, resolution. I will be able to explain everything to you.
When you find her.
I know you can't trust me. I know you can't trust me. I could never ask you to do that.
Okay, so.
I could never ask you, but I had.
But didn't you say never I will do anything for you to trust me? Baby, I feel we have a future together. What was that about?
I never said anything to you that I mean.
You never told me anything you didn't mean.
I lied to you about things I did.
Mm-hmm. So, how am I going to stay out of this? And how do you see that happening? How do you see that I'm going to stay out of this, or I'm not going to be dragged in or involved into this? How is that, Scott? Can you answer me?
I don't know, but you don't deserve to be.
No, I don't deserve to be. You're right.
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly. You do not deserve to be.
So why
You don't deserve to do the things that I've done to you. But there's no but. I'm sorry. Hey, I agree with that. I want to explain everything to you.
Yes.
But I can't.
Why?
Primarily, well, I don't know.
Do you hear this, man? Do you hear the tone that he's using to try to get her not to come forward? He's trying to protect her from the media. He's trying to protect himself from this coming out. She was recording this. She had already spoken to the police.
A lot of reasons.
Once she heard about
primarily protection for
he saw him
everyone.
on the
Protection
news.
of who?
Everyone.
Who's everyone?
Everyone is you, me, our family.
Everyone that would possibly look at you a little bit differently, because who the hell am I? You're telling me that we're, oh, I asked, is there anybody else? Oh, no, I'm monogamous as far as I'm
I
concerned.
never cheated on you. I never did.
You're married. How do you figure you never cheated on me? Explain that one to me.
I want to explain to you, Amber.
And you will.
I can't.
You're going to, right? Is that?
I will. No, I will.
When?
I hope to hell that you will listen to me when I can. I want to explain to you so badly, but I can't now. And I hope, and I can never ask you to trust me or to even listen to me again.
I possibly can.
I know it. I can never ask you to do that to me. And I just hope that sometime in the future you will let me tell you the whole story. And I cannot ask you to do that.
That makes a lot more sense to me now, Scott. Of course you couldn't tell me the story about your wife because it hadn't happened yet. And you were hoping to resolve in January that it'd be resolved and you'd have a story to tell me.
You think I had something to do with her disappearance? Ever you believe that?
Well, let's see. How can I believe that? How can I believe that? How could I believe anything for...
I am not evil like that.
I would hope not.
I am... Oh, my God.
You've lied to me now. And, actually, I was thinking, you know how many people I've given you a picture to? Or of us in Christmas cards? So you're telling me...
Still hasn't mentioned the baby.
You want to keep me out of this and Ayana, and you want to protect me from that. How? I'm just so at a loss. How?
Amber, I had to tell you. I've been wanting to tell you. I hope in the future I can tell you everything if you'll let me. I can never ask you to trust me. And I'm so sorry that this has happened and this is happening to you. And that is just the truth. And
You know, when I met
it hurts.
it hurts.
It hurts me to believe that I could have something to do with her disappearance.
Oh my God.
Well, you know,
But I understand your anger.
you know what? Actually, I have not said that. Those words have not came out of my mouth, Scott. Now have they?
No, but
No, they haven't.
everyone has been pointing a finger at me.
No, they came out of your mouth, and I'm not one to judge. You know, there's only one.
I know you aren't. Yeah, that's very true.
But isn't that ironic how, Scott, when I first met you on our date, how you told me you were going to Maine with your family and you were going to Paris and Europe and all these things. And then you came to me after Sean had found out that you were married, and you came and told me this elaborate lie about her missing and this tragedy, and that
No,
that this will be the first holidays without her?
I never said. Amber,
Yes.
God, I don't want to fight with you. You know that I never said tragedy or missing.
Oh, yes, you said you
Yes, you
lost your
did.
wife.
No, yes.
Obviously without me saying much. But we were
I said that I lost my wife.
Yes, you did.
I did, and yes,
How did you lose her then, before she was lost? Explain that.
there are different kinds of loss, Amber.
Then explain your loss.
I can't to you now.
When can you?
I can
When my
once
name
there's
has been smeared all over tabloids and everything else because I'm the lover, I'm the girlfriend. When you've been married to this woman?
you don't deserve that.
No, I don't deserve this. And you say you've been faithful to me? Oh, some people I tell I've been married to, and other people I say I never have because it's so painful for me.
I'd like you.
Oh, more than many times, apparently. You know, when you set me down, remember I said, oh, I thought you were going to tell me you were married.
You see, she asked him about the baby.
So
He never brought the baby.
Scott, what about your baby? Laci's missing woman pregnant? Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Really? So is that why?
And I want
Yes.
I want to explain all this to you now,
Yes, I'm listening.
and I just am not able to.
Why?
I can't ask you to trust me, but you will if you give me a chance later to explain it.
Later when?
You will thank me for
I
that.
will thank you for what?
You will thank me for not explaining it now.
Really?
Not thank me, but you'll understand. And I can't ask you to ever listen to me. I can't do that.
Well,
And this is the hardest thing. You can't believe that. I understand.
Yeah, is that why you said you didn't want to have any children and Ayana was the only child you ever seen having? And at that point, assuming we're together, you'd have her as your own? Why would you tell me that when you were expecting a baby?
See, I'm so sorry that I can't tell you everything.
Why can't you tell me everything? Why?
There is simply, it just has entirely too many repercussions, and they're not all for me. Okay, there's a lot, and all the repercussions don't deal with me.
What repercussions?
If I was to explain everything to you,
Yes.
and you know, the media started attacking you, or anything else, so many people would be hurt.
She didn't know you were married.
You think?
I know it, and I'm so sorry that you're being hurt by this. But, I mean, I can understand you can never believe what I'm saying. But, God, I hope you do, but I can understand you.
So tell me the coincidence of Laci, your wife, disappearing, and your stories earlier in December. And then you're carrying on this elaborate lie with me that you're in Europe and you're in Maine with your folks? Explain that to me.
I wanted to tell you about this
Really?
as soon as it happened.
But of course you couldn't because you're in Maine with your folks. Huh?
No, I didn't make that trip.
So, you know, you and I, you and I, assuming we'd be together, how would you explain a new baby that you brought into this world?
I'm trying.
How would you explain your baby to me?
You don't know everything.
No, I don't. So what is it?
I want to tell you everything, but I can't.
Okay, are you listening to me?
I am.
Okay, how now, you know, again, you saying assuming we stay together and you talk about all these future things with me, how would you explain a newborn child of yours that, I mean, I would assume she'd want you to have regular visits with this child, right?
Sweetie, I'm so sorry, but I can't tell you about those things right now.
Why? Why not right now?
It would hurt entirely too many people.
Now, is this child yours?
Sweetie, I'm sorry, I keep saying that, yes, you're not too Amber. I cannot tell you.
Is this child yours?
I can't tell you all these things now.
Why?
Listen to
The only things I needed you to know. And I hope that you're not, you know, that I know I hurt you.
You hope what?
Amber?
Yeah.
Amber,
You hope what?
I just hope that, I mean, you don't get hurt more by this than I'm doing.
Listen to this.
You already know what I've gone through. And for you to have no compassion for me.
I hope you don't think that's true.
You know, actions speak louder than words.
That's true.
I can't for you to ponder on for you.
That's true. I deserve anything you say, there's no question, Amber.
So tell me, Scott.
Yeah.
Why should I not go to the police with this?
It's your decision.
Really?
Of course.
And at that point, I go to the police with this. What do you see happening?
She had already went to the police.
I imagine that.
Go ahead. What?
Well, I mean, they would, you know, I don't know if they would release it to the media or, you know, I mean, obviously they would question you, they want to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it is your decision, of course. I wanted to tell you what has happened, and I wanted to tell you that I like you.
And what stopped you from this?
Previous to now?
Yeah.
You know, I could make excuses how I justify it to myself about.
Great right now.
Well, I know I'm telling you that I justify to myself by saying, no, you know, she just found out about Dave. No, she's had a fight with her sister. Don't tell her. No. It was probably just weakness and hoping that I could hold on to you.
Just
Exactly,
a weakness and holding on to me?
And wanting to hold on to you.
Longing to hold on?
Yes, and not being able to tell you about me traveling. Amber?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, I'm here.
I deserve everything that you want to say to me.
Well, again. You know, Sean.
I'm sorry? Amber?
Are you forgetting things you had discussed with Sean? If you're not serious about a relationship, don't call Amber. She's been through too much already. Do you not remember having this discussion with Sean?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh, but you still went ahead and went through. Why? Why? Are you there? Hello?
Amber?
Yes?
Amber?
Did you hear me? Are you driving? Hello? Hello? Are you driving? Hello? If you could hear me, call back.
That's Mr. Peterson, who's so concerned about his wife missing, lying to Amber. So I'm waiting to see what's this new evidence. And again, he put Amber's innocent daughter in the middle of all of this. His wife was 8.5 months pregnant with their son. I don't think he believed it was going to blow up like it did. This man, the only reason, and Amber had already called the police. Her friend Scott was the one that found out. Sean, as soon as I saw his name, he's the one that brought it to her attention, and she watched the news and she saw it. She contacted the police. He was trying to keep her, and he knows once it got big, it wouldn't be contained. It'll be everywhere. That's why he called her. She already knew. She was already in contact with the police. And they told her to record because she wanted to confront him. They told them, no, just record all the calls. So let's see what happens with Scott Peterson. Let's see if he's going to get this new trial. Let's see if this evidence with the mattress and, talking to the witnesses that supposedly saw Laci near the van. Let's see how this all plays out. I personally, when I heard about them not testing the blood against Laci's DNA or the family's DNA, I was shocked. I thought they did that. As far as the neighbor and the burglary goes, who knows? But I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Again, this man sitting in court with that smirk on his face. Let me finish out this, and then we're going to get out of here. Let me let you finish hearing what happened in court on the 12th, and then we're going to get out of here.
Scott Peterson's death penalty was overturned. It was a big deal, but it seemed that was the end of the road. The fact that the judge is at least taking this seriously offers a glimmer of hope to the family of Scott Peterson.
Our thanks to Kana. You can watch more of Impact by Nightline. Scott Peterson, The Wrong Man, now streaming on Hulu.
I really think that there's a one-armed man out there that did this crime. And thank you, Big Bad Wolf. But as far as I'm concerned, my opinion hasn't changed. Maybe I'm wrong. I doubt it. But I'm waiting to see what this blood evidence comes back to. And and the fact that the Innocence Project did pick this up, I am shocked. They must be low. They have a lot of people that's on death row that they could be helping. You know what I mean? A lot of people on death row. Great alive. Thank you, Jennifer, that they can be helping. This man is sitting in prison. He's life in prison without parole. Okay, fine. What about these death row inmates that are screaming their innocence? And then I've seen in the last month and a half, they've had at least 8 people released from death row because they found they were innocent. So I told you yesterday I didn't have the energy. And then when I went to open my presentation and I saw everything was askew, I was like, oh shit. And this was at 4:20 and I'm trying to get it all together. And I thought it would take me a little longer, but it only took me like 10 minutes. Yes, he's guilty. And see, that's just it. But I am shocked that they didn't test that blood against Laci's DNA. I am actually shocked. So, and the fact that he has been turned down for 2 appeals. And now this one with the juror that was involved in a crime, that had a crime committed against them. This shit is like, okay. Now I need to look up what Grass Toucher was talking about, because I didn't think any of the Peterson family, I'm not Peterson, of the Rocha family was actually on his side. They just want this to be left alone. I get it. It's been, you got to remember, Connor would be 20, almost 21. Connor would be an adult. So you don't have your grandchild, you don't have your daughter. You got your daughter back without her head or her limbs. And at one point I had read, this was a while ago, that Connor didn't die immediately, that once he, yeah, I just can't even think about that. And I don't think they've ever found her head or her limbs. But you got just a torso back. Again, with the blood, Grass Toucher said that she could have bled out in the van. But to me, it doesn't make sense. If you take this woman, you kill her, and then you drive to the bay, and then you come back and park the van a mile from the crime, from the house. That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't. So what did you do? Did you kill her in the van and then transport her in another car? This is, you really need to think about what you're saying. They killed her, the blood in the van, then you drive to the bay, throw her in the bay, just so happens to be where he was fishing, but yet he told other people he was golfing all day. And then you drive back to the neighborhood, park the van, and set it on fire. That's what happened, okay? This is the case. Scott is getting off. I have just represented him, and that is the way the story is. That's the way it goes. So I'm going to thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening. If you're here for the replay, I should have said it at the beginning, make sure to hit the like button, leave me a comment, give me your thoughts, because I really want to know what you think. And you and Laci were pregnant at the same time. Yeah, and I understand how Gypsy Vano feels. Her family was out there helping to look for this woman. And then when they released the house, she says, I saw her comment. She said that they were in the backyard, the front yard, and they can see him in the house on the phone and watching TV, and then he would leave. Everybody have a great, great night. Jennifer Positive. Oh, I can't say negative. Jennifer Negativity. I can't do that. But Jennifer Positivity, thank you. Thank all of you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Big Bad Wolf. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you guys later. I'm going to go do some Netflixing and read. I will start reading my book today that I received from Danielle's mom. And I will start reading my book today. I'm in for the evening, so I will talk to you guys later. Love each and every one of you. Have a great evening. I will be live tomorrow. Okay, thank you for changing it. Oh, Jennifer, I saw your post on YouTube. I saw your post on YouTube. That woman is crazy. That woman is crazy. And then I got a screenshot. I'll show you guys tomorrow morning because my understanding is I'm super black. Okay. I saw that. So I will definitely see you guys tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to be live at 7. I don't know yet. It depends on what time I go to sleep and how much I read. But I'm going to get myself comfy, go take me a nice hot bubble bath, and put my PJs on and climb in my bed. It is 67 degrees here today. Right now it's 67. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow, and then during the week it's supposed to drop back down to the 30s. You go from not being black. I'm telling you. When I saw that shit, they said, oh, I want you to see this. I said, okay. I don't know if that means I have superpowers or not. I have no idea. But I found that shit funny. It's raining here. Oh, it's raining there. Oh, Jennifer. We don't get that much rain here, but when we do, it's like it'll rain for like 3 or 4 days straight. But we're supposed to get some nasty weather next week. And then we're in for one more snowfall. And then we will be out of the snow. Yeah, I'm now Puerto Rican too. So I'm Puerto Rican and Greek. God damn, I'm good. Okay. I love you guys. Have a great evening. And I will see you later. Bye.